New and now at 11, development disagreement. We have the latest on the controversy over an apartment complex in Horseheads. This time they're headed to court. It was brutal weather here yesterday, but wait until you see what the folks in Syracuse had to put up with. Plus, Washington takes steps towards raising overtime pay. Joe, it was sunny today, but boy, was it cold.
And it's frigid tonight as well. Temperatures, lower teens and single digits. A nice rebound, though, tomorrow. Forecast is coming up.
This is WENY News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Ben Wilcox. Thanks for choosing WENY News at 11. Well, it was sunny today after rain, ice, and sleet yesterday, but it was still bitterly cold, and this is your home for winter weather coverage. So let's get you started tonight with Chief Meteorologist Joe Veras in the First Warning Weather Center. Good evening to you, Joe.
Well, good evening, and good evening to you as well. Much quieter weather conditions across the Twin Tiers tonight.
In the Watkins Glen Central School District, they've used all of their snow days. Now Superintendent Phillips says they're going to have to use Parent-Teacher Conference Day on April 25th to make up the difference. He says adding days at the end of the school year in June could be likely as well. The last resort is dipping into spring break.
Parents have put a lot of money, planning and time. Staff also has some plans, so I mean, to disrupt all of that for makeup days is really a last resort.
Schools in New York are required to have 180 days of school per year. In the past, the commissioner has reduced those days based on severe weather. Superintendent Phillips says that could happen again considering the amount of snow our neighbors further north have gotten. Well, the snow might be gone, but that doesn't mean the coast is clear just yet. Steuben County Emergency Management is warning drivers about the roads that are still covered with snow and ice in some areas. Temperatures only reach the mid-teens in some parts of the county, which is too cold for salt to melt the snow. Drivers could also face whiteouts with blowing and drifting snow. Meantime, Acting Director Tim Marshall says flooding due to snowmelt does not seem likely. In Syracuse, a snowstorm has walloped the area with wind and snow. Take a look at conditions on the road. They've also recorded 12 inches of snowfall at the Syracuse Hancock Airport. Syracuse.com says this weather has caused city officials to activate a 20-year-old plan to ease traffic on the road during bad weather. The National Weather Service predicts wind gusts as high as 32 miles per hour and snow showers tonight. All right, back here in the Twin Tiers, anyone interested in serving on Elmira's school board next year had a chance to come and learn about the position tonight. It also served as an opportunity for the school department to see who is interested in the job. Only one person came to the meeting. She was informally interviewed by the school department staff. There are 3 available positions for next year's school board in Elmira, 2 3-year terms and 1 2-year term. If you are interested in serving on the board and missed tonight's meeting, there's no need to worry. You can pick up an informational packet on serving with the board April 14th to 18th. Just head over to the school administration building on Hoffman Street. Now to the latest on the development disagreement we've been covering for months, the controversy over the proposed Biltmore crossing in Horseheads. We now know the controversy is heading to court. Neighbors and Mike Belowski, who owns the apartment complex property adjacent to the proposed site, are filing an injunction. Their argument is that the town of Horseheads did not go through the proper procedures when it came to permitting the over $10 million project. The case will be heard in State Supreme Court Monday in Elmira. Lawyers for both the town and Conifer Realty, who want to develop the site, plan to be at the hearing. According to the Star-Gazette, an example of one of the procedural issues being challenged is that not enough public notice was given to the public hearings on the project, which were held in 2012. State law requires 10 days notice be given. WENY News will continue to bring you the latest on this development disagreement. The Finger Lakes SPCA has gotten some help taking care of 11 horses in foster care. According to the Star-Gazette, the grant was funded by the ASPCA. Vicki Mosgrove, executive director of the Finger Lakes SPCA, said that the funds will help provide feed for the horses who were once neglected. The horses are now up for adoption. McDonald's workers have filed 7 class action lawsuits in 3 states over alleged wage theft violations. The suits allege that McDonald's has forced employees to work off the clock, not paid them overtime, and struck hours off their time cards. The lawsuits were filed in New York, California, and Michigan. McDonald's did not respond to a request for comment on the lawsuits. State Senate co-leader Jeff Klein says the DREAM Act is not in the Senate majority's coalition budget proposal. Klein says he plans to push for a separate Senate floor vote on the bill. The DREAM Act would allow students in the country illegally to access state tuition assistance programs. Klein says Thursday afternoon he is confident funding for universal pre-kindergarten and some language about public campaign financing will be in Chamber's budget resolution, although negotiations are ongoing. President Obama has signed a presidential memorandum directing the Department of Labor to devise new overtime rules and make more workers eligible for time-and-a-half pay. The memorandum is one of the most far-reaching executive actions by the president this year. New rules would likely not take effect until 2015. Obama pledged that when necessary, he will bypass Congress to act on his own economic initiatives. Washington also extended long-term unemployment benefits for Americans for another 5 months. Crews at this hour are scouring the rubble of 2 buildings that were leveled by an explosion in New York yesterday. At least 7 people lost their lives in the blast. Dozens more are being treated at hospitals. Now the search is on for the missing. Chris Welch is at the scene with more details.
Minutes before the explosion. Reporting in East Harlem, I'm Chris Welch.
And late tonight, the New York Fire Department confirmed an 8th person has died as a result of that explosion. Still ahead, there is now a new theory behind the disappearance of a jetliner headed to Asia. We'll tell you what it is. Plus, Pope Francis celebrated an anniversary today. We'll take a look back at his first year as Pope. But before we go to break, I want to check in with our Crystal City Skycam on Market Street in Corning. And the road's a lot clearer tonight. It was pretty snowy last night at this time. Still not a busy traffic night on Market Street, though. You're watching WENY News at 11. Joe Veras has your full forecast.
Some passing by to our south. We're back into the 40s by the middle of next week.
You got a little friend in the 7-day there.
A little leprechaun.
Yeah, is he new? He wasn't in at 6, was he?
He was in at 6, but not yesterday.
All right.
I had to remember that. St. Patrick's Day is coming up.
At 6 o'clock, I was looking at the showers on Saturday for the St. Patrick's Day parade, but you're promising nothing to spoil the fun.
Right. I mean, if we get a shower, it'll be light and spotty. So, yeah, come on out and see us in Horseheads. It should be a fun time. Always is every year with the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, man, I believe we have candy this year we're going to be handing out.
A lot of
That wasn't a surprise.
A lot of candy, right. Show
Right.
up.
Thank you, Joe. The search for the missing Malaysia Airlines flight continues. A new theory on what may have happened 6 days ago is adding more questions than answers. Polo Sandoval has the latest from Washington.
White House officials.
It has been 1 year since St. Francis was introduced to the world as the new pope. Francis did away with luxuries popes used to have and even hired a consulting firm to evaluate how the church could be more efficient. Francis has also been vocal about the church needing to focus more on its charity work and less on judging social issues. Francis made headlines when asked about the church's stance on gays. He responded, quote, "Who am I to judge?" And now here's the rest of your world in a minute.
Oscar Pistorius has been violently sick in court again after photos of Riva Steenkamp's corpse were accidentally shown. The judge presiding over Pistorius' murder trial was shown bloody bathroom photos from the day Riva Steenkamp was shot. The athlete has pleaded not guilty to murdering his girlfriend on Valentine's Day last year, saying he thought she was an intruder. As John Kerry prepares for a meeting tomorrow with Russia's foreign minister in London, he's issuing a warning to Russia that it will face a, quote, very serious series of steps from the U.S. and Europe if it annexes Ukraine's Crimea region. Residents of Crimea vote Sunday on whether to join Russia, but the U.S. and the European Union says the referendum violates Ukraine's constitution and international law. Still, Russia says it will respect the results. Kerry told senators today that he hoped reason would prevail, but stressed there is no guarantee of that. The Indian diplomat whose arrest sparked a testy exchange between the United States and India won a dismissal of a federal indictment Monday. She was arrested and strip-searched by federal agents in New York City in December after federal authorities accused her of lying on a visa application about how much she paid her housekeeper. She was indicted on January 9th by a federal grand jury on 1 count of visa fraud and 1 count of making false statements. She then filed a motion to dismiss the charges, claiming she was cloaked in diplomatic immunity at the time of her arrest, and that's your world in a minute.
time for Medical Minute. Your commute. You may not think of it as being very healthy, but new research reveals that it just might be doing more good than you think. Here's Tanja Reiki.
Tanja Reiki, WENY News.
Now let's take a look at some of the stories you can find in tomorrow's Star-Gazette. A detailed report on the Biltmore Drive controversy in Horseheads. The Gazette has extensive coverage. More on a daytime stabbing in Elmira. Plus, there is a new home for Meals on Wheels. Find out where it is. And of course, Joe Veras will have a look at that 5-degree guarantee. Hopefully it'll be a little warmer, Jenna, than it has been the past couple of days.
You're right. I was listening to you earlier. It looked very nice out the window, and then you got outside and you're like, yeah, no. I'm just
and you had to go outside too.
Yes, I did have to go outside.
I guess we all did at some point today.
Yes. I mean, the fresh air is nice though, so I can't complain.
Absolutely not. And you've got Syracuse coming up. They've got a big game tomorrow.
Find out who the Syracuse Orange basketball team will play in the ACC tournament, plus Cornell women's hockey gearing up for a crucial weekend ahead. Stick around. Sports is next.
There's no tomorrow, so we're just trying to keep the ladies loose and keep it real positive and upbeat.
And as for the Elmira men team, they finished their year at 16-10-11 and won the ECAC West Championship. A solid year, but the conference doesn't have an automatic bid, and Elmira was not chosen to extend their season. But they put in a lot of hard work and have a lot to be proud of. And they got that title, so I'm sure that means a lot.
Absolutely. Definitely something to be happy about. Now the 16-10-11, is the 11 ties?
Yes.
Is that considered a lot of ties?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, with hockey, since it's overtime, if you don't score, then the game ends.
I wasn't sure, because I know in football you don't ever see that many.
There's not usually a tie, yeah.
No. All right.
Never,
You're watching WENY News at 11. We'll be right back after the break with some news about stamps. All right, as promised before the break, some postal news now. Fans of Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Jimi Hendrix will love the Postal Service's newest forever stamp. The stamp was unveiled today at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas, at a concert featuring celebrity guitarists. It's designed to look like a vintage 45 record sleeve and shows the singer wearing one of his trademark military jackets. The stamp comes out decades after the musician's death in 1970. Back then, a stamp cost just 6 cents. Today, one costs 49 cents.
Oh, inflation.
Inflation, yes.
That's a cool stamp, though. I like that.
And it's a forever stamp. So you get a bunch of those, and you don't have to worry about the price.
It lasts forever.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely. All right. Can we get a last check on that weather?
All right. School day forecast tomorrow morning. A cold start to the day, but nice recovery for the afternoon. Southerly winds pushing temperatures well up into the 40s. 49, our 5-degree guarantee. First warning 7-day forecast is showing some more 40s early Saturday. Temperatures start to drop off during the afternoon with the cold front moving through. Only 28 for Sunday. We're dry, though, with a mix of sun and clouds. St. Patrick's Day, just a slight chance for a snow shower. 29 our forecast time.
All right. Thank you, Joe, and thank you for joining us tonight. Be sure to join Kelly Meyer and Craig Flint for the morning show tomorrow at 6 a.m. And then the three of us will see you back here tomorrow.